Hello fellow designers and publishers, I'm András from NestiFyz, the Nexus, and I'm super excited because this is the first time that we are showing you the early version of the platform, and I will explain how it works. As you might know, soon we are entering the early access, so everything is subject to change, but we are counting on your feedback because we want to fine-tune the platform to provide the most value. We will add other functionalities, but we wanted to show you the platform early as possible, and we will extend it as we go along the way. We have so many ideas for both of the publishers and the developers, but we wanted to get you involved checking our MVP with the most important functionality. And this is what we always say, to connect the publishers and the designers seamlessly. So let's dive in and let me show you how it works. So ladies and gentlemen, here we are on the NestiFyz page. I'm going to run you through how to log into the platform, create a new project from a designer standpoint, how to fill up the details. This is totally unscripted, so allow me to make mistakes as we go along the way. But let's cut to the chase. So here you are on the page. You go on the login. Let me just log in into my profile. And here we go. Now you should see the main dashboard of the designer's profile. As you can see here, I already uploaded something, which is one of my game ideas. It's in a designing phase. On the card, you will see that it's a 2 to 6 players, short dice rolling fantasy game, nothing specific. Okay, so let's take a look at the designer's profile. As you can see, I already uploaded my picture, but let's check the details. So if you click on the view profile or on the bottom left corner, here you can access it. And if you go to edit, this is what you have to fill when you register here. You can have your bio, what kind of language you speak, and so on and so on. But the important thing here is the links. So if you have your own website, a Board Game Geek site, or a YouTube channel, or anything, you will be able to edit here, and these links will be displayed under the respective icons. Let's add a new project. I have another one which is called Weather Wars, which is a, how should I say, a more mature game. It has a lot of details, which would be a good example to upload here over the site. So we can use the add new project. Both icons work. Let's name it Weather Wars. What you see here is that it's still an idea. It doesn't have anything defined here. So let's do that. Okay, going here, edit. And let me cheat a bit because I already prepared the description, the short description, the long description for the game, so I don't have to type and saving us some time. So right now, the status of this is an idea, but as you can see, you can switch it to designing or playtesting, or looking for a publisher if it's a more mature one, or even if it's published already, it's not here to be, to brag about it, but still if you have a published game and you're looking for a localization partner, it's a valid thing that you upload an already published game because you want to advertise it in other countries. But that's a different module in the NestiFyz platform, which is not part of the MVP yet, but it will be soon announced and there for you to consume. Okay, so short description. This is what we enter here. Short pitch video link. I have a teaser video, which I think will suffice, and a playable version. What you can see is that I have it on Tabletop Simulator, so let's copy the link. Minimum players is 2, maximum players is 2 because it's a dual game, and it's a longer one. It usually takes 60 to 90 minutes to play through, and as you can see, everything is displayed. It's clickable links, so anyone who is watching your main page, which actually acts as a sales sheet, will be able to see these links. Okay, so let's go further down and edit the other set of information. The complexity is a medium complexity. Language dependencies, heavily language dependent because it's a deck building game with a lot of text on some of the cards with special powers and so on and so on. So I would mark it as heavy. And here comes the tags. You can select maximum 10 tags here, and we're using these categories from Board Game Geek, our Bible, so we're not reinventing the wheel. You should be able to find what your game falls into. If not, then let us know and we will figure out how to tackle that. Okay, so this is a worker placement game, with deck building and deck pool building, and it uses variable player powers, variable setup because it has different starting setups, and it's a fantasy themed game. I think it's suffice for now. You can edit it later, so don't worry if you don't find something or you forget to add something. This can be edited every time, which I'm about to do because I forgot to add the long description. And let me cheat again because I have the prepared text over here. And there you go. Now it's getting to look like a full-fledged profile page, but we still have some things to fill here. One of these things is the unique selling points. If you ever constructed a sales sheet before, then you know that unique selling points are the differentiators for your game. How is it unique? How is it different from other games? That's basically the catch for your game. When you click on the edit, you can see that you can add 3 for now. Usually that's enough for justifying the uniqueness of the game. So yet again, let me jump into some of my pre-created texts. My unique selling point, is controlling the weather. Player needs to obey it. The other thing is that it has a unique flavor to the worker placement, and the third one is the replayability because it has unique setups and unique player powers. So saving this will give you the details over here. And there is one thing, which is the components. So when designing a game, it's quite important that you are aware of what components the game is using and what it costs. So what we suggest right now, to go to one of the manufacturers and you can estimate the quotes. So it's a clear text field right now, but it's subject to change. We have ideas around this, how to automate it, how to request an estimation without you going in to a manufacturer. There you go. So that will give the idea for a publisher what the estimated cost per unit will be if we create 2,000 units of it, and what's the tooling price. Obviously, the more complex and more complicated components you're using for your game, the higher the price it's going to get. This is just an estimation. It's really just an indication for you as well, how complex component set you have for your game. So that's it. Everything is filled on the main page, the basic information. Now let's jump to adding some media because, good picture means thousands of words. So let's upload some of them. There you go. They're pre-selected. Important thing to know is that currently you can only upload pictures and they shouldn't be larger than 5 megabytes of space. But currently this is how it looks like. You can rearrange these to your liking, dragging and dropping. You can delete if there's something that you feel that doesn't belong here. Let me just delete the logo for now. And you can upload a kind of a featured image for the game. And this is going to be, for me, the box cover. I don't need the box cover here because it's already in the featured image. So this is how it looks like. Feel free to explore how it works. I multi-selected from when I was browsing. I didn't add them one by one, so that works as well. We want to make this comfortable for you and easy to use. Let's go to the progress, because you might notice that we have a progress meter here, and this is something that we would like to ask your feedback about. Currently, the progress meter is, how should I say, a checklist for the designers. A checklist, what you have to have in your game to progress it to completion. We all know that a game is never completed. You can only stop developing it, but there are some main corner points which we believe that it's valuable. Now what you can see is that there are some of these which are bold letters and with an asterisk. That basically means that if you want to look for a publisher, these are the a mandatory requirement, because we want to make sure that the projects that the publishers see has a certain quality threshold. So what they browse for is, you know, already in the development phase with a lot of things completed. So for example, for the rule books, there are some things that it has to have an English version available, a good description how to, you know, how to set up the game, how the scoring works, what are the gameplay rules, and so on and so on. So these are mandatory because if you want to have it in front of publishers, this is what they will ask for, how the game plays. Regarding the testing, we would require that you already put that on table in front of people and you made a couple of tests, white box tests. The last rulebook has been tested with the player counts, so you know it's in quite more or less it's in balance. There are some really main things in terms of visuals. You have pictures of the game, you have prototype quality art, so it's, you know, it looks somehow and it's recognizable in terms of iconography, in terms of how it plays. Okay, so currently everything is manual here, so I will click that. I have the gameplay rules and I will upload it in the next phase anyways. I have the 90-second pitch video, I have the digital playable version. You have seen me you know, adding the link there. I have tests over there and I have tested the last rulebook. But there are other things that, you know, in the rulebook I have the explanatory pages, I have a print-ready design for it, I have the iconography, appendix and all that stuff. In terms of visuals, I uploaded these, I have the box art ready, I have a contributing artist, to be honest, and I don't have a solo mode though. I filled the projects, long description is there, and a couple of these things, and I'm going to save this. And now what you see here is that the progress meter jumped to the middle. You know, I've been developing this for quite a while, so that means that, yeah, there might be other checkboxes that I could tick. In the future, this will be automatized. So when you upload or fill the 90-second pitch video link, this will be ticked and so on and so on. We are working on that in the background. And what I would like to ask you specifically is that think about it. And if you have any kind of feedback and idea what to, you know, measure, what to check, then let us know. This is really for the designers, not for the publishers, for a designer to be there as a guidance, to get us into the right mindset and make sure that we do what needs to be done. Later on, we imagine that there will be a task management type of aspect of this page as well, so you can define yourself specific task that you want to complete regarding your game. But for now, we start with this one. Okay, if you have every bold ones, the mandatory requirements filled, in that case, you will be able to select here, instead of idea or designing or playtesting, the status looking for a publisher. And that will mean when the publisher is coming on the platform and looking for games, your game will be able to display it. Until the mandatory checkboxes are not there, this is something that you cannot choose for your game. Okay? So make sure that the basics are there to provide good quality prototypes for the publishers. This is the main idea here. So let's go to the rules. And here on this tab, you can see that you can create versions of the rules. And it's very important because the rules are going to be version managed. But let's create a new one. Let's name it version 1. That's fine for now. And if you go here, you can edit the rules themselves. If you don't have rules written yet, then this form will give you a kind of structure. That rulebook usually has an introduction, a goal, a setup, a gameplay, how you score the end game, extra rules, and so on. Even on the bottom, you can provide a change log. So if you have multiple versions, you modify the rules as you go along. You can make a note what you changed compared to the last one. So because I have a full-fledged rulebook already, I can choose a file as well. Let me do that quickly. And if I save it, then you can see that this icon changed to download the rulebook. If you click on that, you can see that the actual PDF is right there. Okay, so let's talk about the version management. You can create multiple versions. Let's create version 2. Let's say that I modified something on my rules, and it's quite important not just for you to track what changed, but later on there will be a playtest module in the NestiFyz platform. and the playtests will be tied to certain versions that you created here. So if you want to compare, if you modify something in the new rule set and you playtest it, you can compare those playtests, because whenever someone playtests your game, they will use a predefined set of questionnaire on the NestiFyz platform, so you can compare apple to apple, and you can see what changed, how the game time changed, how the feeling changed. Qualitative and quantitative measurements will be there. So it's very important for us designers to see how we progress the game when we changed some of the rule sets. So by default, the rule that you uploaded is not visible to anyone else. You as a designer can decide who you grant access to your rulebook. So let me show you how it looks like. Let's imagine that one of the publisher searches for your game, it pops up in the filter, and they like what they see based on the basic information, and they want to take a closer look at the rulebook. So they will ping you via the messaging tab, and you will see a message popping up. Let's see the test publisher, for example. We have a conversation here, and then they will ask access to the actual rulebook, and then I can decide whether if I want to grant the access or deny this access. So whenever this happens, you will receive an email on your registered email address, and you can come to the messages here. You will see a flashing red dot over the messages, so it will notify you that there's something going on, and that point on, you will be able to decide whether you want to go with this publisher or not. If you have any kind of feedback regarding what you have seen on the platform during the early access, please feel free to use the submit feedback button, where you can give general feedback, a bug report if something is not working as expected, or if there is anything like a new feature that you would like to see on the platform. Select the right category, give us a short description, submit the feedback, and we will follow up with those in the next couple of weeks. So I think it looks funky. So that means that the game is ready for publishers, and it's ready to be found on NestiFyz platform. Thank you for being with me, guys. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. I'm András from NestiFyz, and stay tuned for our next video. Thank you.
We are NestiFyz.